Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We are definitely into spring. My hair is getting long. I got short sleeves rocking now. I'm wearing my State Fair gear here because I love the Maryland flag on it. And we're going to be beginning the Crab Cake Tour at Costas and at Fadley's, and we're going to make our way over to State Fair, and we're going to continue everywhere. This guy's having a crab cake with me. I think he wants to do Pappas. I'm trying to figure out how to get Johnny O out there and some other Baltimore County celebrities and dignitaries as I try to move around in the summer before I begin the statewide tour. How are you, Leonard Raskin? What's going on, man? Last time I saw you, we were on a golf course having fun.
I am doing fabulously well. It is summer in Baltimore, but just wait a few days. It will be winter.
No. It's not coming back. No. We're not going to have that cold, frosty Preakness morning around here. I'm not going to allow
spring,
that.
Short sleeves, like you said, it's magnificent. What's not to love? Great golf tournament last week. All's good in the world. The boy is on his way home from Ohio State. Freshman year finished. Can't even believe it.
Well, imagine how good it's going to be when he goes back without a mask next year, right?
Yes, stunning, absolutely. But freshman year is finished. He's on his way, I guess, across Route 70 somewhere in the hinterlands of West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and Maryland.
Tell him to honk the horn in Breezewood for us. We've all been there.
There you go. There you go. Absolutely.
Speaking of afterwards, and I'll get to the Ravens in a minute with you, but I was thinking about this the other day because my wife and I went walking around. My pal Stan Jablonski came to town. We went walking through the city, and man, there were just a lot of people out, right? Families, black people, white people, young people, old people, some mostly masks, but some people just joggers, bikers, stuff, right? Really thinking about the economy and business and talking to more business owners and where we are. And for all of us who survived this, right, that we didn't go out of business because either the government helped us or sugar daddy helped us or we had an essential business or we sold booze or weed or whatever it was that kept everybody floating, that we're now here again, right? Second shot for me next week, right? So I'm starting to plan like, hey, maybe I can go to North Carolina with my wife and lay on the beach in June, right? Maybe I can go to Florida with my buddy and hang out and get a beer and see a show or whatever. I'm definitely doing this crab cake tour in August, and I think I'll be fine for that. It's Maryland. I'm in the car. It's all that. But people spending money, you're in the financial world of Raskin Global and, empowering people to save money, buy a house, get a low interest rate, save more money. This is probably going to be the time when people that save the money maybe want to do something, and whatever that something is, whether I saw they're letting us into Europe now. So like if I were wealthy and cool and stuff, to be, hey, let's go see Niels and let's go spend 10 grand and go to Europe for a week or two or whatever. There's going to be a lot of that going on once this gets going. I definitely feel like people have struggled, and there are a lot of people financial struggles, and I'll hear that. And I've been a part of that at various points through this mess, right? But once things open up and business gets normal and you pay your bills, I pay my bills, we do all that, we're going to want to do something. And I feel that bottled up feeling of the roaring 20s or whatever it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of
coming.
Demand.
It really is.
A lot of pent up demand. A lot of people were obviously and really, scared by what's happened the last year. And even those that had money, let's face it, they weren't taking their vacations. They weren't doing the things they normally do. So what did they do? So they banked that money. They either invested it, they saved it, they paid down their debt, they paid off other bills. So generally, the middle class and up, they've got extra cash and they've got desires to spend. And other than Home Depot and Lowe's and the hardware stores, the places and the home improvement places that have been working full steam ahead because people are sitting in their house going, I don't like that bathroom. And so they've ripped out rooms and changed rooms, but short of home improvement, man, the economy, shut down a lot. And so people
you
are ready
can't
to
get
spend
wood
money
right now, right? Like I learned that out at your golf tournament,
crazy
and I've
expensive.
seen it 10 times since
10
I was with your
price.
friends that everybody's talking about wood. How are you going to build anything?
The price has gone through the roof. I sent my friend a picture of a hat. You'll appreciate this. It says, make wood cheap again. the red hat, make wood cheap again. The price of lumber has gone literally through the roof. It's obscene. And as a in the construction and wood fabricating business, man, they've been taking it on the chin. They can't give you a quote. You hear these stories about people in third world countries, you go into the store, the price of milk, and when you get to the back, by the time you get to the cash register, it's changed. But literally, they're putting out quotes for jobs they're bidding on projects, and it's good for a day, two at the most, because they can't get the supply at that price 2 days from now. So they're having to adjust on the fly all the time, and so prices are going up. If it's good for the government to tell us we don't have any inflation, but don't let your lying eyes fool you. If you go to the gas station, gas is up 20%. If you go get lumber, it's up 10,000%. If you go to get a lot of things out there in the marketplace today, the cost of food, the cost of energy, cost of stuff is going up. So, we call inflation the stealth tax, because nobody comes and takes your money. It's not like when you pay your income tax to the federal government, you see it come out of your paycheck, or you write a check and it goes. This one, you don't notice it until all of a sudden you go to buy a gallon of gas at $2.75 that was $2.05. And you don't really notice because you got to put the gas in the car. But at the end of the year, you don't have as much money left. So you got to be really careful and pay attention to this stuff. That stealth tax will eat your wealth up more than an income tax, because it compounds over the long term and gets you. You got to pay attention, and you got to create wealth to overcome that. And that's what we're about helping people do. One of the things we do, help people understand what that is. And the other side of seeing that stealth tax is a stealth push. And that is a lot of people looking at the price of their house. You see the price of your home has gone up, and you go, same house, nothing changed, same neighborhood, same horrible neighbor, same great neighbor. Why did the price of my house go up 20%? Well, because people are out there looking to move, looking to buy new houses. They realize the price of building a new house is expensive, so they'll buy your house. And I was on the phone with a couple just yesterday, and this woman said, we have 2 homes and 2 residences, and we're thinking about consolidating. And I said, which one would you sell? And she said, the bigger, more expensive one. We're ready to downsize. We're going to sell the bigger, more expensive house. But I really don't want to sell it because I really love my house. But times are good and prices are high, and I think we can get a ridiculous number. So we bantered back and forth. What's it really worth? Now, this house is in New Jersey. It's probably worth, let's just say, $650,000 to $700,000 where it is. I said to her, look, put it on the market at some ridiculously obscene price. See what happens. She sent me back an email last night that they got an obscene offer for in excess of the obscene price. Same house 2 months ago, 6 months ago would have been worth maybe 6, is now worth almost 8. It's ridiculous, but it's a beautiful financial win. So if you're ready to move, this is the time to sell. And I
take
would
the money and run.
Take the money and move if you're planning on moving. Running is good, but if you're planning on moving, this is a great time to be a seller. There's not as much inventory out there. I read a statistic in the Wall Street Journal just a couple weeks ago. There are more realtors in America than there are homes on the market for sale.
Now that's a crazy number.
That's a crazy
how
number.
many lawyers there are in America, right?
Right. There are more realtors than homes on the market. So demand is high, supply is low, prices are roaring. That's the other side of inflation. Take a win. If you're ready to move, take a win. If you're thinking about selling, think about accelerating. But you got to find the other one at a good price. If you don't find the other one and you end up paying way too much for the other one, you just shifted your money around.
No, there's no doubt about that. Leonard Raskin is here. Raskin Global. I like him because he gives me investments when I can hold them up here. It keeps my breath very fresh here on the air. You can find him at raskinglobal.com. You can find him up in Hunt Valley and investing and thinking about investing. If you need some good advice, our friends at Raskin Global take great care of you. And you're a sports guy. This is the busy time of the year. We spent the day on the golf course having all that fun. The NFL draft this weekend and just sort of hanging out and doing something that feels more normal than watching an empty baseball stadium or whatever. The draft was the one thing that sort of got us through this period last year when things were going in the wrong direction very, very quickly and badly.
From the commissioner's basement,
with Coco, right, in his slippers, as I remember it. The Ravens making deals in Orlando Brown, and I know you and I talked about that. I'm sure they'll come out of this weekend with an edge rusher and a wide receiver, and we'll have controversy. And did they take the kid from Miami, or did they take the kid from Oklahoma State, or who do they like on the offensive line? But the notion that they could be shrewd enough that to say, well, I'm on the radio saying nobody's going to give up a 1. I didn't really think about, well, maybe they give up R1 and year 2 and year 3 and R4, and we'd move things around and they'd wash it all out and say, well, the value was the 45th pick or whatever. It really is amazing in the new NFL that trades, creativity, not to mention malcontents who ask out, right? And get out. He got everything he wanted. He got dealt where he wanted to go, and he'll have a chance to go sing for his supper and get a left tackle contract. But the league and the evolution of our fandom of this thing being a Saturday, Sunday event to now being a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all parts of it, 17 game schedule now. Usually the schedule is on the radar and up when they're drafting. Now the schedule's not coming for 2 more weeks. So, they're keeping us on our toes, the NFL.
Well, they're brilliant marketers. They have found a way to make the NFL a year-round item. And you think about it, whether it's 16, now 17 games, how long is 17 games? 4 months. Then you got the playoffs, 5 months. Somehow the NFL has made that 12 months. Pro Bowl, Super Bowl, combines, drafts, everything, trades.
Rest sometimes in the old days.
Yeah, hey, arrest. Is that what you said, arrest?
Yeah, but making headlines, you know what I mean? Whatever that is, they're never not in the news, They've
got the sport out there 12 months out of the year. And good for them. They have created a major brand success. And they've got people on the edge of their seats. And then, let's face it, you hear players talk about it. I don't care how I'm doing on your fantasy team, but that's huge. And now here in Maryland, we're talking sports gambling.
Oh, yeah.
Right. It used to be you had to go somewhere to bet on a game legally. Now you're just going to be able to be in your house and click on a button on your mouse and bet Maryland, whatever it may be. So the gambling angle is big.
Well, we've seen that in baseball, Leonard. I don't know if you've watched a lot of the Orioles games, but the notion that I've never gambled on baseball in my life, and I have friends that play that dollar pool as to who's going to hit a home run, right? Sitting in the bleachers, those kind of games. I never played any. I'm not a gambler in that way.
Me neither.
Or that I need to have action on the action for me was I love Mike Flanagan and watching him pitch, and I love the Orioles and I was from Baltimore and they're the Yankees and I want to beat them, right? That was my jam. But baseball this year, more than anything, I have felt the difference of, they're trying to either make me gamble or figure out if I'm gambling and make it easy for me. And that's going to be a hook. And I'm thinking, I've been a baseball fan my whole life. I don't even know how to gamble on it. I didn't even understand the numbers on.
I don't get it either.
They're 9 to 4 or whatever. And
right. The plus 120, the minus 600. We talked hockey a couple weeks ago. I was watching the Caps pregame the other night, and they're talking the over and under is 4.5. Okay, so I know that means how many goals get scored in the game, but whatever. And then there's a plus 120 that Ovechkin's going to score a power play goal and Oshie's going to get an assist. And I'm thinking, what the heck is that?
That's an exotic wager is what that is. That's an exotic wager. I just want to
watch hockey, man. If I'm going to gamble, I'm going to go to the casino and throw some dice where at least I can get a free drink and enjoy some screaming and hollering when that, hard 8 comes up or something. But I guess there are people out there who have no idea what the heck I'm talking about.
I'd be the guy screaming. I bet the hard 8. I always get a 5 down on that, man. No doubt about that.
There you go.
Leonard Raskin playing craps here. You don't play craps with your money, though, right? I mean, only in a casino.
No, and only in the fake casino. I've gone to, we talked about your Maryland tour and going out to Western Maryland. So when we took the boy out to Ohio State in the fall, the wife and I, on our way back, we stopped for the overnight at Rocky Gap, kind of split the trip.
Now, how
And we
is
went
that? I've
down.
never been to Rocky. Give me a
It's a
little
beautiful
report.
place. It's a beautiful place. Really nice, great surroundings, nice casino, great hotel. Out on the lake, you can go out, hang out, swim, hike. It's beautiful. It's a nice place to visit. You definitely
I've
should check
never
it out.
been, and it's on my
Yeah, check it out.
list for the summer.
I hadn't either. Great place to go. As a matter of fact, give you a quick funny. I pulled into the place and I pull in and I'm looking for a great parking space. And right there in the front row, 4 empty spaces in the front row. I pull right into the front row. I get out of the car. And as we're getting out of the car, this ginormous of a man comes out of the hotel. Sir, are you a high roller card holder? I'm like, what? Those spaces are reserved for high roller card holders. I said, I don't roll nothing. He goes, all right, don't worry about it. We're not sold out, so I'll let you stay there.
You wouldn't get that in Vegas.
Yeah, I parked the car. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
We can get that in Atlantic City.
Yeah, I have no idea. So I go in the casino. It's the hotel. We go down. Kathy and I go down and do a little gambling. We're both playing $20 on the craps team. We're there for about an hour. I walk away with 23 bucks. She walks away with 200. Beautiful night. She bought dinner.
Hey, man, I hope it was good, man. I hope it had a crab cake.
Good.
Leonard Raskin is here, Raskin
good.
Global, and talking to. So for the Ravens this week, are you drafted up? I mean, I know you love the football team. I have found there are people who just don't care that much about the draft that love the team, and to say, wake me on Monday and tell me who they drafted, and that's sort of my job and Luke's job, right?
I'll pay attention.
It's good background for me. I get caught up.
Yeah, just to see who gets grabbed.
I forgot Urban Meyer is the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like,
I want to see what that looks like. He's interviewing quarterbacks. How about that? But yeah, I read a stat, and I'm sure you knew this. I had, again, pay attention. I like to see who got picked. I like to see some of the top names and where they go. I had a couple friends say, out there, it kind of stinks that we don't have a second round pick. And I said, wait a minute. You got the last pick in the first round. Which would you rather have? A middle pick in the second round or the last pick of the first round? Who cares? That's where they got Lamar.
The difference is in the first round, you get the extra year of the player, which is an
That's
incredible
right.
benefit to having dealt Orlando Brown to get an extra year on the back end.
That's right.
Just
like
the
Lamar.
year. Well, that's the year as a player that they would look at and say, well, if we had Orlando Brown come back as a malcontent right tackle, we would have a backup to the left tackle, but we would get a compensatory pick when he signs his big contract in Bemidji, wherever he's going to go, right? And we wouldn't get that until next year. This is the extra year back in. So it's a year on top of year for them. And I don't think they believed in the kid. I mean, I just think they thought, we've gotten what we're going to get out of him. He's never going to be our left tackle. We're never going to pay him to be our right tackle. He doesn't want to be here.
That's right.
I think that may go down as a really good deal for Eric DeCosta.
Here's hoping. But as I was going to say, the thing that I saw that kind of was interesting, the Ravens had 10 draft picks last year, and all 10 played in the season, in games, in the year. All 10. I mean, think about it. A lot of teams draft a lot of players that just bust out or sit the bench or practice squad or don't get there. 10 out of 10 on the field is, I think, a pretty good number. And I'm thinking, you got to be thinking that their second year, they're going to be better. And these guys were pretty good. I mean, look, J.K. Dobbins ran a nice run. It was good running back. They got some receivers out there. I think Duvernay is going to be a stud. I don't think they threw the ball to him nearly enough. I think they're counting on him to step up and do some good stuff.
Well, they certainly liked him a year ago, right? A year ago this week, they stuck their neck out for him.
Caught everything thrown to him in college. My goodness, the man just goes and gets the ball. That's what he does. So we'll see. And I have faith that they're going to come out of here with some good picks or make some trades and get some more picks. That's what they do.
The fun part for me is knowing that they're competent. You know what I mean? Like, I know firsthand, even if they wind up with a Brashad Perryman or something that doesn't work out or whatever happens, they put some due diligence in. Hopefully better than Sergio Kindle, which, we don't.
Hey, look, we don't have to worry about drafting for the Jets. I mean, have they drafted anybody worth a darn in the last 10 years?
Well, let's be nice. Now, Joe Douglas is up there trying hard. I got a former Raven guy there, so
I got it. But for a long time, I have a lot of New York friends. They haven't been happy in the draft for years, and they've been proven right that they just haven't drafted well for a
Well, look at the
long time.
Redskins. The only thing worse than watching them play is watching them draft, you know?
Yeah. Well, Daniel's picking those picks. He knows everything.
Well, they got a
Just
good,
ask him; he'll tell you.
they got a pass rusher who's special. I mean, Jack Del Rio sits here and
Oh,
tells me that all the time. Leonard
no,
Raskin is here. It's
no
Raskin
doubt,
Global.
no doubt.
He does money. Tell everybody what you do. My wife and I had a conversation about you the other night, just talking about the American dream, and said,
Yeah,
part of this is, and because my wife and I were talking about money and people being at them, like people save money and they haven't been able to spend it. Now, like, this is the time where you get to say, I want that bigger house. I want that thing. I want that boat. I'm going to get that new car, whatever that thing is. It takes, saving, right?
it takes money, but the fact is, all those things are great. All those things that you just mentioned are outstanding. And unfortunately, what happens for a lot of people is they'll spend the money, they'll get those things. It doesn't make them happy. They have it for a month or two. It's really great, the next shiny object, and then they feel the same way they did before. So what we believe is that you have to find out why you have this money. What's important about it? What's your true purpose in life? I think you and your wife probably came right up against it the times when she wasn't well. You say, we could have all the money in the world. Means nothing if you don't have your health. And once you're faced with something like that, and you say, okay, you know what? What's really important to us? And I don't know if this caused the shift or just your life caused the shift, but you went from Nestor Sports to Baltimore Positive. And you decided that there was a bigger calling about what you need to do with your voice, with your microphone, with your platform than just talking sports. You wanted to make the community better. You wanted to step up and put people on and have conversations that matter to people. And it changed the inflection of what this show's about. And that's the kind of thing people do when they work with us. They figure out what's important. I had a couple in last week speaking to me, and they said, you know what? We're ready to retire. We're ready. And they're not old, but they're ready. And I said, so what are you going to do? Because a lot of people leave their job, and at that moment life stops because they don't have the social, they don't have the what drives them every day. Their identity goes away. And they said, we want to spend more time with the kids. We want to spend more time with the grandkids. We want to share with them. We want to go on trips with them. Our family is really important. Charity is really important. We have things we want to do, causes we want to participate in, things that matter to us. You talked about the golf tournament. We were out there riding around in a cart last week and I met a woman who's had twin nieces that were at Mount Washington Pediatric Hospital. And she said the care was so great and the people were so great. I'm out here as a volunteer because I care so much about the hospital. People have causes bigger than themselves and certainly bigger than their money. And when you recognize what that is, what your purpose is all about for your life, for your money, man, it's just fantastic. And you know what? If you have that, no amount of money is too much and no amount of money is not enough because you have a great life. And we're about having people have great lives and then understanding how to utilize their money to make it even better. And we do everything for them with their money, from budgeting to insurance to investments to tax planning, to take advantage of all the things that they want to do with it so they can have the kind of life they want. That's what we're about.
Well, I tell you what, I appreciate being out on the golf course with you. At some point, I guess we'll get to a game of some kind. I'm sure we'll be back and forth on the draft here. I know Stanley Cup getting going. I saw the Caps and the Islanders duking it out again the other night as well. So there'll be more of that as
three-game sweep for the Caps. 3-game sweep of the Isles.
Yeah, it's been a rough week in Trotsland. This is the week I'm leave them alone.
2 games, 1-0. I mean, that's stunning in hockey. 1-0.
It's good
just
defense.
Amazing. Yeah, it's been a crazy, great defense, great goaltending. One was 0-0 shootout, 1-0. Crazy. That's not, for a lot of people, that's not good hockey. I loved it.
Oh, yeah. That's bad soccer, but it's good hockey.
It's good hockey. That's right. It's good hockey.
Leonard Raskin joining us here, Raskin Global. We visit with Leonard every week, visit with many of our sponsors. You can find all of it out at BaltimorePositive.com. And at a sporting event near you. There's even a rumor they're running a horse race this week in Kentucky as well. So Dick Girardi's going to join us next week, talk some Preakness as well. 2 weeks away from Preakness now, man. I'm this close to Silver Queen corn and peaches, Leonard.
How great would that be? I am ready. I'm right there with you, buddy. I'm ready for that.
On the Eastern Shore, I'm going to be, if people are like, hey, you're going to eat crab cakes every day, I'm going to like, I'm going to be eating corn and tomatoes too. we are
Amen.
WNST.net, AM 1570. Towson, Baltimore, we never stop talking fresh local produce and Baltimore positive.